This episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Here at On the Stacks, we know the importance of using the right tools to deliver smooth results. Designed for performance, safety, and comfort, Manscaped is the complete package when it comes to men's below-the-waist grooming and care. The Lawnmower 4.0 is equipped with skin-safe technology, which helps reduce the risk of nicks and cuts so it's gentle enough on your most precious jewels. And because it's waterproof, you can trim the hedges come rain or shine. Not only does Manscaped have the finest trimming technology, but they also offer a full lineup of hygiene products to keep your boys dry and fresh all day long. When I find myself in a hairy situation and it's my balls on the line, I only trust Manscaped, and you should too. And that's why Manscaped is offering all On The Stacks listeners 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com when you use code STACKS20 at checkout. Again, that's manscaped.com to get 20% off plus free shipping. This episode is brought to you by Burn, the fitness company behind the Today Show approved Burn Board. If I'm being honest, working out can be a real chore, especially as a new dad in desperate need of sleep and cardio. Burn is founded by NEPA native Jimmy T. Martin, and his Burn Board offers a low-impact core and cardio experience unlike anything I've done before. They have hundreds of on-demand workouts that are great for beginners, seasoned athletes, and out-of-shape podcast hosts who love supporting small businesses. My wife and I use it pretty frequently throughout the week, and it's honestly a great way to burn a ton of calories without burning a ton of cash. Not to mention, it's a great tool for skiers, runners, wrestlers, and hockey players. Jimmy is offering all On The Stacks listeners 15% off when they use the code STACKS15. Visit theburn.com today to get 15% off your purchase with code STACKS15 at checkout. Again, that's theburn, THEBRRN.com to get 15% off your purchase with code STACKS15. It's time to get on board today with Burn. This episode is brought to you by Blue Door Financial. Blue Door Financial will help you save money and reduce taxes to live a fuller financial life. To learn more, visit Blue Door Financial online at BLUdoorfinancial.com. That's BLUdoorfinancial.com.
Not really challenges. It's a lot of sacrifices definitely to get.
Like what?
Like here, I mean, just time. Just in the beginning, 22-year-old, like you think I'd
Be out partying?
Yeah, like that's what I would probably like to be doing, but
Yeah.
Oh yeah, whoa, look, they can never keep me down, I'm going, and if I ever fail, just know I'll go again. I never quit, cause I know that every loss may lead to another win. I'm going up.
Hi, I'm Bill Corcoran Jr. This is the On the Stacks podcast. Today, I'm chatting with Kyle Holmgren, owner of Holmgren Landscaping. What's up, podcast? Episode 104 of the On the Stacks podcast in the Blue Door studio. Welcome to the show, Kyle. How you doing?
good, Bill. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, it's exciting. So, I just want to give you a little shout out because you've been a supporter of the show for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love what you're doing here. I think it's great.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And but yeah, so I really like to have people on the show that are involved and engaged, and you've been engaged in supporting the show. I think you bought every single piece of merch that I've sold since I released it.
Just about.
Yeah. No, but seriously, I appreciate it, and I'm glad to have you here today. You're a young business owner doing some cool things in the area here, so I like to shine some light on people like you doing great things. So before we get into Holmgren Landscaping and everything that you're doing now, and you got some big exciting things coming up too, which we'll get to in a little bit. But before we do, kind of tell me how you got started. Like, were you cutting grass as like an 8-year-old kid or what?
Yeah, pretty much. My dad, he always kept us busy, and we had to be doing something. It wasn't really video games when we were younger. It was be outside and just work. Not really work, but like have fun, and so that's what we would do. We'd cut grass at my grandparents' house, and next thing we'd have like the neighbor's yard and neighbor's friend's yard. So we were kind of just building a business. We didn't even know.
Yeah. So like all right. So you started like as a really young kid. Like, how old do you think you were? Like when you really first picked up your first power tool, I guess we'll call it.
I don't know, maybe like 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you started like really young, and like you just said it yourself, but you were like basically building a business that like you didn't even know probably was gonna eventually exist.
Yeah. I definitely did not think I'd be here now.
Yeah. All right. So kind of like you're a young kid doing some cutting some lawns. Like did you did you start like taking on like some more customers like locally in your neighborhood? Like what did you do?
Yeah, I'd say we probably had like 10 from like, I guess from when I was like 8 to like high school.
Yeah.
Me and my dad, we would just go out cutting grass, and it's side money really to vacation money. So that's what we do, and just we had fun doing it.
Yeah. So
we
you
still
did,
have fun doing it.
Yeah. So you did like all throughout high school,
Mm-hmm.
and when you were in high school, did you like know like what you wanted to do?
Not at all. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go to college or like a trade school. So I worked at the Wyoming Valley Country Club.
At the golf course.
Yeah. At the golf course, on the grounds crew there. And, that was fun. I mean, I learned a lot. That's kind of where I got like my passion for cutting grass.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, so what did you do there?
We did, I started off just raking bunkers and weed whacking hills, lots of hills.
A lot of hills.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
No.
But throughout the years there, we started like to cut the greens, tee boxes, fairways, and just doing that. Like you really didn't have to be like a doctor, to cut nice grass. It was,
So like, but you learned a lot from that experience.
Oh yeah, I learned a ton.
So you got yourself out of the bunkers.
Yeah, I worked my way right out of the bunkers.
So is that like, what is that? Is that like the rookie job when you first started a golf course? You gotta rake the bunkers. Is that like your first?
Yeah, pretty much raking bunkers and weed whacking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you did that, and then what? Did you get promoted to like actually like cutting the course? Like, is there like, I don't know if there's a right term.
I don't know. I mean, I
like
guess
as you got more experience.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, anyone could really do it. Like,
Okay.
you can go out there, and if you're there for
I
a
don't know
month,
about me.
yeah, I mean, you could probably lay some nice stripes.
So there's like a science to that, though, isn't there? Is there a science to that?
It's just
I've seen the pictures on your Facebook page.
yeah. It's just the sun, really.
Is it?
How the sun, in direction, whatever way you go, cutting.
Okay.
Gives you the light line, the dark line.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. My lawn looks nothing like the ones that you cut.
It could.
Yeah, it could. All right. So you started. How long did you work at the course for?
From like 9th grade up until like my senior year of high school.
Okay. So like senior year of high school, you were unsure what you were gonna do.
Yeah, it was. I didn't know. Like I said, college or what.
What'd you end up doing?
Once I graduated high school, I ended up working for Sardoni Construction. My Uncle Dave, he gave me a great opportunity there.
Shout out to Uncle Dave.
Yes, shout out Uncle Dave. He helped a lot, and I learned a lot too. I mean, just from working my way up there. I mean, doing foundations with concrete, some finished carpentry work. So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Okay, so that was like, so right out of high school, you got that job?
Yes.
Yeah.
The summer graduated, and then I was working by August.
So like full time, like you're in the real world.
Yeah, I was up at like 6 a.m, going to work for 7.
How was that?
It was tough. I mean, I had to get used to it, really.
Yeah.
It was.
Was it hard to get used to, like just from like going right out of high school, like right into the workforce?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, who wants to do that at 18 years old?
Yeah, like most people, I think of our generation. I mean, you're a little bit younger than I am, but like we're still kind of close enough, I think. But I think a lot of people in our generation, I can speak from experience myself. But I was in college. Obviously, I went to college right after high school. But like you said, like most people were probably in college and
right,
sleeping in, taking 9, 10 a.m. classes like me.
Yeah.
And here you are, 6 o'clock in the morning,
Yep.
out there pouring concrete, right?
Yeah. Just have to do it.
Yeah. All right. So tell me. So Sardoni Construction, they're local here in the Kingston area. So tell me a little bit about your experience there.
Like I said, it was a lot of we did a lot of concrete form work for foundations, buildings, and that's tough. I mean, if there's
why,
it's just, I mean, you're out all day in summertime,
busting your ass.
Yeah, just
it's like hard work.
Yeah, carrying forms, and it's tough, and speed too. They want it done like fast, but
yeah,
you have to do it right too, because I mean, sometimes you're putting up big walls, and
so like what were you making, like paint the picture for me. So like what was a project you worked on?
So they have it's like Doka forms,
okay,
and they're like the forms that they pour the concrete in for foundation walls or footers.
Okay,
and you really just stack them on top of each other, but clamps, and there's a lot of pressure there with the concrete. So there's definitely like a lot of knowledge you have to have, I'd say, to make sure everything's right.
So how did you learn how to do all that?
They have great guys who work there. Like our foremans, they were really good. They taught us a lot, and you wouldn't go like just they wouldn't throw you in the ditch
and just say, here, pour this foundation.
Yeah, figure it out. Like they would walk you through everything, and it was good. Very grateful for that.
Yeah, so you got some great experience, like some on the job training.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And I was just saying, we were just talking about being handy, and I was telling you before I started, and I said, thank God you weren't here like a few days ago, because I somehow locked myself out of the studio, and we were joking about my door because it's a really long story, but I got locked out of the studio. We have no doorknob on the studio right now. And you joked and was like, oh, I can fix that for you. And I'm like, oh, really?
Yeah.
But yeah, long story short is somehow I got locked out of the studio behind this lovely painting here by Rico Ebert. Shout out Rico.
That's nice.
Yeah. There's actually windows behind there, which no one really knows or sees because they're actually covered up with that foam. But I had to like break through the window, crawl through the window. The window came crashing into the studio. It didn't break.
Jeez.
I don't know how, but the window behind there just like literally came tumbling here into the studio. I had to crawl through there. Something was broken in the doorknob. I had to like take the doorknob off. I ended up having to take the whole freaking door off the hinges because I still couldn't get in. Still couldn't get in. So I had to take the entire door off the hinges. It was like an hour and a half ordeal. And for those that know me, know that I'm not a handy person. And thankfully, there were no casualties except for a couple little, bumps of my little Nittany Lion guy over there. But, whew, yeah. But we survived. We survived it. So, no doorknob, but we'll get that.
Yeah, thank God.
We'll get that fixed. All right. So back to Sordoni. So how long did you work there?
4 years. From once I graduated high school, 2016. Up until 2020.
So you got like a 4-year degree, basically.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
It's I definitely got a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge from it.
Yeah. So, but you were telling me before we started too that did you at some point enroll in college?
Yeah. So as I was like working with Sordoni, it was like I said, it was really tough work, and I was like, I don't picture myself when I'm 40 years old to still be in, the ditches pouring foundation. So I was like, I kind of want. Make myself a little bit better. Yeah. So I went to like Southern New Hampshire to do online classes, project management. And I did that shortly after I started at Sordoni in 2016 until 2020.
Okay. So why project management? Like what was that going to like help you progress like in the company there?
Yeah. There's like project managers on like most of the construction jobs. So that's kind of like just what I saw. That I had some growth for the future. And that's what kind of motivated me to do it.
Okay, cool. So, all right. So you were going to school, what, probably like nights and weekends, like doing this online?
Yeah, like right after work. If it wasn't the summertime, and then I would be it was tough. You're coming home and last thing I wanted to do was log onto a computer and do schoolwork.
Yeah, after pouring concrete all day.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, but also simultaneously, were you also still doing some landscaping stuff like you were like in high school?
Yeah, I was still trying to juggle it all. It was coming home, I'd cut grass until I get like dark. And then whatever schoolwork I had to do, I'd get that done too. I'd start working on it. Yeah, like a whole week to do it, but still, it was still a lot.
So like how long of a day was that? Sounds like you worked like literally like 20 hours.
Yeah, just about.
Seriously? No, I'm serious. Like
you figure like 6 and then
you probably worked what, like 8-9 hour day, your regular day job?
Yeah, an 8-hour day, yeah. And then come home and I'd probably at least cut grass for 3 hours, 4 hours.
Okay, so you worked, so now we're up to like 12.
Yeah.
And then you went to school.
Yeah, and then I'd take classes at night.
Holy shit.
It was tough.
Yeah. So, all right, so, kind of like what happened next? Like what was kind of like the change in your life that you kind of really got more serious about the landscaping business?
The pandemic.
Really?
Yeah, that's what. If it wasn't for the pandemic, I definitely wouldn't be here now, and wouldn't have a landscaping business.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. So take me through it. So going back now 2 years, 2020 pandemic hits, 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Mm-hmm. We're like 2 years, like almost to the day right now.
I know.
At the time of this recording, ironically. All right. So What happened? Did you get laid off?
Yes, we got laid off, and there was no like return date set.
Really?
They said take all your tools because we don't know what's gonna happen. So I kind of like, I didn't know, I was like, either just sit home and collect unemployment or just go out and get it. And I knew that, I still had like a couple customers that I can kind of fuel off of. So that was,
How was that? Like, was that scary? You're, how old are you now? At that point, you were what? Like, what? It was 2 years ago. You were 22?
Yeah, 22.
So you're 22 years old and you lose your job.
Mm-hmm. It was a good job too. So it was like, I don't know. I figured like at some point, like, it's going to open back up, but
But at first.
yeah. And in the moment, like you don't
know.
Yeah.
So it's pretty scary.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So you lost your job, and then fate has it. it lended you the opportunity to really take on. At that point, did you know like, hey, I'm going to really go into this landscaping thing? And
yeah, it was kind of just like I had it to fall back on. Like I wasn't really quitting my job. It's just, the work was there. It was just,
Okay.
It was up to me to like get it done.
Okay. So like at this point, was it just you?
No, I had some guys that would still help me at night. My father, he helps a lot. So me and my dad, he'd be the one cutting with me after work.
Okay.
We just go out and.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So you and Dad, what's your dad's name?
My dad's name's Paul.
Paul, what's up, Paul?
He's the man.
I hope he's gonna be watching this.
I hope he is.
He better be.
Yeah.
All right. So you and your dad, you start cutting some more lawns. Like, did you, like I said, like kind of like at what point did you say like, hey, like maybe I want to make this like a go? Like, at what point did you realize like maybe I'm not gonna get my job back?
I just kept cutting. Like I just kept going, and I mean, the name gets out there. Just keep a good name, and that's what we did. We would just a lot of references and.
So how did you kind of like, was it like a lot of word of mouth? Like how did you build the business?
Yeah, definitely. Like we don't market much. I kind of wish we did, but also we don't, we're busy just by word of mouth.
Yeah. You jump into this thing basically full time. Like, did you like just say to yourself like, hey, like I'm probably not going back to that job?
Yeah, kind of. Cause it was, like I saw the opportunity and I just ran with it.
All right. So how did you do it? Like, how did you build it? Like, I want to know because you're a young guy. So like this was only 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. You're 22 years old. And like, what was that experience like for you? Just like, I mean, I know you were already like used to the work. So mm-hmm. like clearly like, you have the work ethic, mm-hmm. How did you get more new customers and maybe you had some like part-time guys working for you at this point?
Yeah.
So like, how did you kind of like just really build the business?
I don't know. I mean, it was, I guess, just like the satisfying the customers, and that was, just being friendly. And I know like I'm picky myself, so like if I'm going somewhere, like it's gonna, I'm gonna be friendly with you, and we're gonna do a good job for you.
Yeah, and you're like, it seems like you're the type of guy that like you're gonna walk away saying like, yeah, like I'm satisfied with that. If it's my lawn, right?
Like I wouldn't just walk away with it, like half-assed.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, obviously your dad is involved. Mm-hmm. Did you have like anyone else like besides your dad, or was it maybe just your dad like that kind of like helped you, mentored you like along the way?
No, I mean, my dad definitely did. Like he helped out a lot, like with just getting the equipment, and because we really only started back when I was like 8, all we had was that one mower and
one man show.
Yeah, it was
one and a half. So, your dad and you.
Yeah. He definitely helped out a lot to get us to where we're at now.
Yeah. Okay, so like you started buying, like, did you start buying more equipment? Like,
yeah, it was too, like once, I mean, we were doing like, as money would come in, if we needed like a mower or something, that's when we would get it.
I'm sure this stuff's not cheap.
No.
What's this stuff cost?
A lot.
Thousands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely not cheap.
Yeah, it's not like your couple $100 like home push mower like mine.
Yeah, no,
right?
we don't. Yeah.
All right, so what did you do? So you used some of that money, some of that revenue to like just like invest back into.
Yeah, that's really like the money that came in, we just invest it back in. No really like credit cards, line of credit. Like we don't have, even to this day, we still don't.
That's good.
Yeah, it's tough, but I don't know. I mean, that's just the more work you got to do, and just keep that cash flow coming in.
Nice. So like, were you able to like really take a paycheck, or like was it?
And at first, no. It was, I mean, if I wanted to, I guess, but I would just, like pay your auto loan, the insurance, like basic stuff. And, but for the most part, I was just putting a lot of money back in.
So you really weren't paying yourself?
Not much.
Yeah.
No, I should have, but.
Nah, that's all right, man. I think that's great because like, I mean, obviously it worked out and, and it has enabled you, to be where you're at now, say 2 years later from then. But yeah, no. So like how long did it really take you before you really started saying like, okay, like maybe I can pay myself a little now? Because I think a lot of people, whether it's, your age or even my age, I think a lot of people don't understand the concept of like, you're kind of like the last person to be paid.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like,
right?
It's a bit, yeah. I mean, my first thing is like, I want to make sure like my help is paid, like I'm not even worried about getting paid really. Like the money's there, but like, all my workers get paid first. And then, I always think too, like if say like machinery, anything breaks down, like I want to have that money on hand to be able to, get something new or be able to repair it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, all right. So as like a small young business owner, like have you had any challenges like either then or even now?
I wouldn't say so many, like, not really challenges. It's a lot of sacrifices definitely to get.
Like what?
Like here, I mean, just time. Like as a, just in the beginning, 22-year-old, like you think I'd
be out partying.
Yeah, like that's what I would probably like to be doing, but
yeah.
I mean,
we'll talk about that because I think that's a interesting and just kind of like an important topic. You having to sacrifice your time to really build the business.
Yeah, I mean, I just had the end like goal in mind. That's what I kept in mind.
What like kind of like did you have like what was the goal?
Just to like establish a good business and grow.
Yeah. So okay, now at this point you're like, all right, I'm doing this thing. Like, did you ever think, going back, like think back to when you were like 8 years old, right? You're pushing that mower.
Yep.
Did you have any idea that you'd actually be doing this?
No.
Right now?
No.
No.
Like I said, if it wasn't for the pandemic, I would still be at Sardoni Construction.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
It is.
That is nuts.
It is.
Yeah, so it's obviously it's going well. So let's talk a little bit about your business. Like, what do you do? Kind of give me like the 1,000-foot overview.
We cut a lot of grass. Just a lot of yard maintenance. We started like getting into the new like home construction, like installing new lawns. We do hardscaping.
What does that mean?
Just like
for a guy like me that doesn't know much.
Like paver patios, retaining walls.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Like the fancy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do a lot of drainage. But like I mean, we keep the focus. Like we hit like the yards like pretty good, cutting grass and. Like
is that your main focus?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, so the cutting, the mowing was kind of like the main part of your business, and then you kind of expanded into like all these other, like you said, like the hardscaping and like what else do you do? Yeah,
like the maintenance, that's big. And then if opportunity came our way to do it, then I'm not going to turn down any work.
Yeah. Yeah. So like in your opinion, I mean, you're like I said, I know I've said this a couple times already, but like you're a young guy and like you're still figuring this stuff out. I'm sure probably still figuring like a lot of stuff out.
Absolutely.
But like in your opinion, like what would you say is the most important like trait to in say in your industry to be successful, or in any industry? It doesn't have to be just your industry, but like
yeah, like at my age, I would say like I don't know, you just have to be like responsible, like just with like money and like that's coming into the business, and you might have a lot of cash on hand, but like you have to know to it all has to go in the bank. Like you have a lot to build.
Yeah. So talk about that. So like, all right, so you got this money coming in, like you're saying you're not going to go out and just spend it at Mohegan Sun Casino or
No, I mean, that's just like the mindset you have to have. I mean, definitely I'd love to do it, but you have to have that goal.
Yeah. All right. So, for looking back, it hasn't been that long because like you're still like fairly like
yeah, we're definitely still fresh.
Yeah. But like, is there anything that like you wish that you would have either known or did differently, like just starting out? And it doesn't have to be like specific to like your like, you know, landscaping business, but just in general, like what were some maybe bumps in the road, like as, you know, a 22-year-old kid, like just starting this thing out?
I don't know. I mean, just the hardest part was probably like just organizing everything. And, cause you figure like a week goes by and, you know, you have to get all those invoices together, you know, and send them out to the customers or, you know, drop them off. So that's a lot too. Like you figure you're out working all day and then you still have a lot of office work that has to be done too.
Is that like your least favorite part?
Yeah, probably. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah. All right. So like what's your favorite part of your day? Like what's a typical day look like for Kyle?
I mean, it's definitely a long day, but my favorite part would probably be just, I like cutting grass, interacting with people, and that's
making those lines.
I love it.
Yeah. What like some people I see have like ones at an angle. What's that all about?
Depends what way you look at it.
What's like, all right, give me like some grass cutting tips here.
Well,
like,
if you want,
like think of like somebody like me, like, dude, like I just like barely cut my grass. Like I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it's the sun. So like if you want to see those lines, like what time do you cut your grass?
All right. So like I usually do it like on a Sunday.
Okay.
And usually like early not like super early in the morning, because early can be different from your early to my early, but I don't know. I'd say sometimes between like 8 and 10 a.m.
All right. Well,
so I'm probably not
regardless of the time. You figure like by the end of the
night. Sorry, what's the proper time here?
By the end, like, you know, it's just the way the sun hits it. Like if, I mean, you can go straight up and down as long as the sun's behind it, you know, then you'll see like that white line, you'll see the blue line. As the sun starts to go down, if you cut it like on an angle of the house, then you're going to see it. You know, if you stand up at your house, you'll see the lines going towards the sun.
My grass is mostly burnt.
Yeah, it's all right.
But
you don't have to cut it as much.
Yeah, that is kind of like my theory.
Yeah.
Is don't water the grass, and hopefully it burns like just enough. Like not like I don't have like the worst lawn in the neighborhood, but like just enough that
it's low maintenance.
It's yeah. Well, so like, what are some like real low maintenance tips? Like, do you have any good besides
probably put like pavement.
Yeah.
Just to get rid of the grass.
Yeah. Expand my driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all right. So like we're like nearing springtime right now. So what's like this time of year look like for you?
It's just like getting a lot of the equipment together, touching base with customers to make sure, you know, we're still on. This year we had to do like some like price, you know, we had increased prices obviously. So just like contacting them to touch base on that and making sure everything's good to go.
Oh, so I kind of skipped ahead a little bit here and jumping ahead to spring, but so like winter, like what do you do during the winter?
Still like just build, you know, focusing still on like waste improve for the upcoming season. But last year we just like recently got into doing snow removal.
Okay. Tell me about it.
It's a lot. Because you figure like when it snows, like everyone wants to be cleaned up at the same time. And,
How do you do it? Like everyone probably wants it done at the same exact time.
Literally.
All right. So you just took on like just this past year?
Well, so like last winter, that's when we started, and that was like mostly like residential stuff. But still, like that was, you know, like I said, they all want to be done at the same time. So that's long days. And then this year we started taking on like banks and restaurants. So that's like, you know, no matter what, they want to be done. Either salted, you know, if it's just a dusting of snow. But that, I don't know, I enjoy it. There's definitely a lot of money in it, and I hope that we could like grow that side of the business too.
Yeah. So you mentioned like residential and commercial. So you obviously do both.
Yes, now we do both.
Yeah. And like, how did you like you said, like everyone wants it all done at the same time.
I just
like how do you manage that?
Like when it snows, like the phone literally rings from 8 a.m. until like, I don't know, 5, 6 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And it's just, we're going to get there. Like it's,
yeah,
you can only do so much.
Yeah.
And they understand for the most part. I mean, they're all good.
Yeah. So, all right. So do you have like a team of people that helps you with all this?
It's an army.
An army?
Go out
oh my God.
No, we have just enough. And it's,
who's in the army? So you got a small army.
Yeah.
All right. So you got a good team of people out there.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, helping you snowplow all those driveways and lots. Yeah. All right. So you said you're looking to get more into the snowplowing business.
Yeah, I'd like to do more. Like the commercial, there's a lot more money obviously in like commercial. So I mean, if we could build that part of it, that's my goal.
Yeah.
Is to build up more, commercial, and if it's restaurants or banks, it's
what's like an ideal customer look like for you, like size wise.
They're all ideal.
Yeah.
An opportunity is an opportunity for me.
I like it. I like your attitude. Yeah, but like in all seriousness, like is my 50-foot driveway like too small for you, or is like a FedEx 1 million square foot lot too big? You know what I mean? Like, is there kind of like, do you have kind of like a happy medium, like where you kind of like have like a niche in type of customer? Like if somebody's listening, that's like, oh my god, like I'd love to have them come plow our lot.
Yeah, I mean we could check it out, and I'm sure we can get it done.
Yeah. So like, what size is like size wise? Like
nothing's too small. I mean, that's how I feel like we build our relationships. And say you need your 50-foot driveway, cleaned in the winter, and then you just build that relationship, and it might just be an opportunity in the summer to get some landscaping work off you or cut your grass.
Yeah. All right. So what do you do like landscaping wise?
What do you mean?
Like I don't know, like I have a real like shitty like yard, and I told you about my burnt grass, and like what would you do? Like, what's like a typical job look like for you, like landscaping wise?
Like new?
Yeah, anything, like totally, like a total revamp, like ripping out old shit, like
if you wanted like something new like that, like we do, we'll kind of come out, see what you want, and then online there we'll like design something, give you some ideas at least, and it's still like your same house, your beds, or your yard, and we could just take a picture and then just edit that picture with new plants or a new design for you.
Cool.
Give you an idea, and then
yeah. All right. So what about anything new you're working on? Anything like what's new? You told me a couple secrets, and we don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet. But
don't do that.
Yeah. But tell me, like, what's new at Holmgren?
I don't know. We're building
expansion.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah.
It's we're taking on a lot of new customers this year. A lot of maintenance work. Still with the grass and the like the mulch beds and stuff like that.
How many people do you have working there?
We have 8.
8?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's like I said, it's an army.
Yeah, that is. It's a small army.
Yeah.
So like, do you anticipate like hiring like in this coming year? Like like you said, you have some potential growth coming up. You're taking on some new business, new customers.
I'd love to. I mean, doors are always open. I'd never say no to good help.
Yeah, so you're always hiring.
Always
hiring in that small army.
Yeah. You need a bigger one.
Yeah. What else, man? Anything else? How can our listeners connect with you guys online? If somebody's listening right now or watching, because you better be watching on YouTube right now, including your dad.
Yes, he's watching. No, I mean, you can get us on Facebook, Instagram, email. It's homegrenlandscaping@gmail.com. Or you can call 570-899-7889. There
it is. The Holmgren plug. Yeah, no, this is cool, man. I appreciate you coming on, and I love your attitude and your work ethic, and like I said, I'm glad to finally that we were able to connect and get together.
Yeah, it's been in the making.
Yeah, it's been in the making for a while now. But like I said, I appreciate your support of the show. Besides, like my mom, you're like my second biggest fan, I think. No, but awesome. Like all jokes aside, like I really, like I said, I was pleasantly surprised. Like it's to me, like when I see somebody's name pop up, like I said, you bought every piece of merch, you subscribe to my Patreon account, like,
yeah,
like not everyone does that. And like, I just, even if it's only $10, I know, as a new business owner, like you appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely. It's a lot.
So like, hey, $10 is $10. Yeah. You get $1,010 people. That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
right?
It is. It is.
But no, man, I appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate you telling me a little bit about your background and kind of how you got started, and landscaping. Maybe we'll have to have you cut my grass nicer, and who knows.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, man. Kyle Holmgren, Holmgren Landscaping on the Stacks podcast in the Blue Door Studio. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Bill.
If you want to see more On the Stacks content, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/onthestackspodcast or search the hashtag #OnTheStacks on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. We'll catch you next time on The Stacks.